All right. So I just walked out of or didn't walk out, but after the film was over, finished watching the Super Mario Brothers movie, and I'm going to do a quick 2 to 3 minute overview, and then when I get home, I'll sit down and do a more depthful thing. But I want to get my knee jerk reaction to the film. I was in pain. I was in pain. And it was a miserable experience. Um, I would like to there. So I'll talk about some of the pros. Visually, a lot of things were impressive in that film. Um, at one point, there was an apple, and I was like, "Shit, that looks just like an apple, a real apple." Um, so the visuals were impressive. The I like the way they incorporated, like when the film very first gets going. It feels like old school Nintendo, and then at one point it's like Mario Kart, and you kind of, as the film progresses along, you're going through the different eras of Mario video games, um, which was cool. I like the way they incorporated that, and how they took all the different types of characters and scenarios in the video games and incorporated into the film. Thought they did a good job with that. Um, and that's about it. Chris Pratt, everybody made a big deal about he's not Italian. He didn't. I thought he captured Mario perfectly fine. Mario, of course, doesn't have a whole huge lot of dialogue in the video games. Um, so yeah, I thought that was fine. Jack Black was surprisingly underwhelming. They didn't give him a lot to do. Um, Luigi, whoever played Luigi, did okay. I mean, everything was just kind of there. The problem is with the story, and I know I'm an old fart, and it's a video game movie, but everything just kind of, it was like, in a way they did it right because it was like levels. So at one point, the film starts in Brooklyn on Earth, and then Mario and Luigi, there's like a flood, and they go to the pipes explode. Brooklyn's got everything's underwater, so they go to fix it. They find some underground something. They get zapped into a green pipe. They end up in the Mario world of the video games with the princess and everything. Um, Everything was like that. It just like, okay, now we're doing this. Nothing was established. And then like Mario meets the princess, and they're instantly got a crush on each other. And then Koopa is like gonna take over the princess's place, her land. Nothing is established as to why. No, it's a kids movie. It's a video game movie, but everything just bops from one thing to the next. Um, and there's just no emotional connection to what's happening. I'm watching kids come out of the theater now. There's about 2, 3 dozen of us in the theater, and I got in there first. This was really impromptu. I just showed up on a whim. Hey, I'm going to go watch a movie. It's been 20 years. I'm going to go to the theater. Wish I fucking had. But there was no laughter. It was silent in there the whole film. The lady right behind me chuckled a few times, and it had a couple very quiet, audible reactions to something. And as I got there first and beat everybody to the punch. Had no clue what was sitting behind me. And as I left, I looked around and said, "But about 30 some odd people here, and plenty of kids." And I was shocked because it was a library. There was no laughter. There was no, just a couple chuckles. Just the lady behind me was the only person even chuckling. I was in fucking misery the whole time. I was like, oh God, now they're doing this. Oh no. And then the music, there's a lot of music from the 80s. Appreciate the way everything felt like, instead of like, oh wow, so when they did Aha's Take on Me, it was Weezer's version of it. I'm like, and so I should have been like, oh sweet, they went with Weezer instead of Aha, and I like Weezer and I like the rendition. Instead, it was like, oh god, they're putting in this. Everything that I should have liked, it felt like they were wiping their ass on it. I couldn't exactly put my finger on it either. And so, in the third act does finish stronger than the rest of the film, but it's like it suffered from, I'm gonna be 41 in a month, and I've seen everything, all the beats, I've seen it, all the call, I've seen it, everything that happened, I've seen it. And so the third act was very straight out of one of the Spider-Man movies, like the second one and third one. It's almost point for point, like when he goes after Doc Ock towards the end of the third Spider-Man movie. It looks exactly like it. And so it's I'll go into depth about that when I have my tongue. The cigarette went out. I didn't like this movie, and it was impromptu, on a whim as hell. But I'm me.